Hello, welcome back to Girl Chat Sports, and we are on episode Sweet 16.
16? I thought it was 15.
No, we're 16.
Okay, Sweet 16. I'll take it. It's a March Madness reference.
It's a March Madness reference.
Love it.
Ha, ha, ha. Even though it's over with. Okay.
Yeah, I know. You're watching Girl Chat Sports on Vegas Video Network. We are the best and only online female broadcasters bringing you sports every week by females with a female perspective for women.
Of course.
I mean, that kind of encompasses it all. So whether you're just starting out and you want to impress the guy at the bar, or if you've been a lifetime sports aficionado, like Melissa here, we've got something for you. We're going to share our opinions, our thoughts. I'm probably going to debate a little bit because I'm feeling a little feisty.
Ooh.
But you'll get an overall feeling of what's going on in sports from our perspective. I'm Jamie Collier, one of the co-hosts here at Girl Chat Sports and founder of girlchatsports.com. Huge Michigan fan. LA Rams fan, maybe.
Maybe a Raiders fan?
Yeah.
Who knows?
And I'm joined by...
I'm Melissa Ferris. I am a Husky alum, also co-host here at Girl Chat Sports. Diehard Seahawks fan, diehard Bulls fan. Pretty much all this stuff here belongs to me in some part or another. So
I've got a shirt.
You've got a shirt. 2 or 3, right?
Yeah.
And a wine glass.
And a wine glass. Yeah.
Congratulations.
That's my Michigan paraphernalia.
What do we got coming up this show?
So we're going to be talking about our kind of recapping our UNLV interview with the Gonzalez twins. That was a lot of fun. Soon to be posted. Beautiful. Stay tuned.
Seriously.
We've got a little bit of stuff going on in the NBA in case you hadn't, if you've been under a rock. We've got the NBA playoffs going on.
Yes.
We've got some NFL news. We try to squeeze that in. We stalk those guys in the off season. It's a true story, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're
it's
stalking them.
probably like 132 days left to the season anyway. So
I know I'm counting down to college football returns. Are you kidding me right now? We've got our infamous buns of baseball to share with you. A little moment, a little boo moment, a little
Yeah.
And I'm sure we're going to throw Kobe and Johnny Manziel in there somewhere.
And the Flakers.
And the Flakers. I thought we were done being the Kobe show.
Can we just say that we're also going to be giving away a pair of Rihanna tickets to the Anti-World Tour this Friday here in Las Vegas. So if you haven't checked us out, if you're not in our live chat and you're currently just watching streaming online right now, vegasvideonetwork.com/live. Join the chat. Please say that you are currently in Vegas because we want you to actually win these tickets and come to the show.
We would be sad if you're in Iowa and can't make it.
We will be entering your name into this lovely Seattle Mariners 206 hat. Of course, it's mine. Only because the Mariners are 11-9 and in first place.
I know. It's called the Seattle Show.
And we will be drawing one
a little bit later in the show.
At the end of the show.
Yeah, exactly. So we had an exciting interview with Dylan and Dakota Gonzalez of the UNLV Lady Rebels last Wednesday. That's still in post-production. Should be up soon.
Yes.
Fantastic girls.
These girls are 6 feet tall, twins, fraternal. How they look identical. And they're beautiful, talented. Not only basketball, but we were discussing singing. They have like a huge following on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
A couple great hits are already come out. They're friends with Drake.
I know. I was trying to be like, can you give me his number?
Right. And what I thought was funny is that Dylan is a huge anime fan.
I did not see that coming.
I was like, anime? Really? And then she's like writing her own anime.
She made nerd girls look hot. She's like athlete, singer, anime. Like, I'm like, is there anything you girls don't do?
No, there's nothing.
Seriously. But they came from a very athletic family. They were so much fun.
Yeah.
And we'll have to get that up as soon as we can. It'll be girlchatsports.com/twins will be the article.
And shout out to Dylan and Dakota. We really appreciate it. And thanks to your mom. We really enjoyed the girls.
Awesome.
They were awesome girls. Awesome.
Yeah. So we're really looking forward to diving into more UNLV sports here because we are Vegas local. So we had Nakaya Berry from the Rebel Report on our show last week. Such a fun girl.
She was fun too.
She had some deep, dark secrets.
Yes.
And we're looking forward to just getting in there and getting to know those teams better, giving you some on the floor coverage of football as it comes back up, basketball, those kind of things.
Basketball,
so we're excited.
Definitely. Oh yeah. Speaking of basketball,
I thought you were going to say, speaking of Vegas.
Well, there's a lot happening in Vegas. But
speaking of basketball.
So I apologize. Last week I came a little unprepared for the NBA, like my little stats, which I don't do stats, but I pulled up. Because I was like, oh, let me just pull up, the playoffs for the 2016 playoffs. Well, it brought up for some reason last year's playoff scenario. So last week, it was like literally the second game of the first
Of the
first round.
Draft.
Yeah.
Round. I said draft.
Yeah.
I'm already
Draft's
thinking
tomorrow.
of the NFL draft.
It's tomorrow. So I literally was reading off stats that were like, oh, it's 3-1 or 4-0. And I'm
For
like,
the Harlem Globetrotters. And I'm like, what? When did the Harlem Globetrotters make an NBA playoff?
So apologies. Current stats now, though. So two teams actually swept the first round, the Spurs and the Cavs. Oklahoma City also won against the Mavericks.
My brother Jeremy's favorite team. Shout out to my bro.
What?
Yeah.
They're also known as the Seattle Sonics. Sorry. Still thinking football. Dang it. There's actually a Hornets and Heat game on right now. They're tied to. Everybody's tied. Blazers and Clippers are tied. Rockers and Warriors are 3-1.
I'm surprised that the Warriors are 3-1. I caught the end of that game live. You know, I usually go back and kind of check but I caught the end of that game live because I was drooling over my new MCM, James Harden.
Which, if you don't know, I just showed Jamie his pre-beard picture. James Harden, we wanted you to stick with the beard.
Listen, I don't have my glasses on and I'm drinking Crown, so he looked okay from that distance. I'd still hit that.
Lovely.
Yeah, that could be my new MCM. But I was like, I'm watching this game without Steph Curry going, because he's injured with his knee, and he was out. And I'm like, this is a whole new ball game, whole different ball game.
Right.
So,
well, and Steph was actually out for like almost 2.5 games. It's like, but they still were winning.
And isn't he out for another 2 weeks? He's got to get MRIs on his knee. And
most likely, I mean, if they get back to the championship, he'll be playing, but most likely. However, 2 weeks is being pretty easy, I think. So I don't know.
He doesn't have a broken hand like Chris Paul.
That's so sad.
This is my broken hand.
Well, the funny thing is they're like, oh, it's 4 to 6 weeks. Like, Blake Griffin is out for the season, but Chris Paul has like 4 to 6 weeks, and I'm like, the Clippers might not make it to round 2. So why would you say 4? He could be out for the season too.
Yeah.
So
the season is less than 4 to 6 weeks.
And then another good one that's the Hawks and the Celtics. Celtics, of course, because Isaiah Thomas went to UW, and he is an all-star point guard for them. So really exciting watching those games. And then the Raptors and Pacers are 3-2 as well. Again, with the injuries, I mean, there's been a tremendous amount of injuries, but the main ones that we're all concerned about were obviously Steph Curry and Chris Paul.
And we were talking about this a couple episodes ago about, like the Warriors, do they just take a step back? And we were talking about how they sit out their players, a couple games before, getting them ready for the playoffs.
Those damn Spurs.
And they're still injuring themselves. It's like NFL over here.
It is crazy. So while I was researching a little bit of basketball, because I was watching the playoffs all weekend long, I noticed something pretty interesting. There's a player for the Spurs, Kawhi Leonard, who was very talented. He actually is often compared to and exceeds, I would think, Scottie Pippen. Me as a Bulls fan, that's a lot. His hand, I think we have a shot.
Do we have a shot of his hands?
I think so. His hands. So right there, that hand right there is against Shaquille O'Neal's hand.
That's Shaquille O'Neal's hand right here.
Against him. So the back hand is Shaquille O'Neal. The front hand's Kawhi Leonard's. Like, they have almost the exact same hand size, but Shaq's about, like, I would say, like 6 to 8 inches taller.
Do you know what they say about guys?
Hang on. And then the top... We'll get to that in a second. So then you've got the basketball. The little shadow up there on the left-hand side, that's his hand reach.
And a basketball is...
Let me just tell you,
on a minute.
From pinky to thumb is almost a foot long. That's like this.
Call me.
I don't know if you could handle that.
I don't think I could. Practice. Wow.
So shout out to Kawhi Leonard.
Because a basketball is not it's not a tennis ball. I'm trying to picture my hand on a basketball.
I have to really struggle to palm one myself. I mean, I have fairly large hands for a female, but his hand, I mean, literally he could probably hold it with like his index finger and middle finger and just do this.
Oh my God. He's got it with like, oh my God. Oh, Lord,
so that was my funny story.
His pickup line. Hey girl. You see my digits?
Look at my hand.
Look at this.
Well, it's funny because part of the pictures they show is like Kawhi, and then you see like supposedly his girlfriend's hands, and it's like this. Like he's pumping a little baby.
Scored.
Oh my
God, that's hilarious.
The only other thing that I thought was really funny during the playoffs
Hands of Basketball, is that our new segment? Hands of Basketball?
I don't know if there's enough. I don't know if there's
he takes the cake. He's the MVP in hands.
He's won the championship for hands.
I mean, we like to talk about body parts on this show. If you hadn't noticed.
Yeah, hello.
I didn't know if we'd ever get to hands though, but
we've broken we popped that cherry here, literally.
Ooh, Lord.
Last little tidbit from the weekend. So Russell Westbrook was fined $25,000
for clothes, for his style. Weren't we just talking about
yes,
his
we
fashion?
were. And it wasn't for his style because I would have given him a fine before for that. However, it was for now that social media is so big, there was a fan sitting courtside who was recording him. I don't know what the beginning of the conversation was because you don't see it, but it had to have been something that triggered Russell Westbrook because he's like, shut the fuck up. Yeah.
To the fan? As he's like walking by?
Yeah,
or
he's like, enjoy the game with your wife. Just shut the fuck up. Like, yeah. So
no, maybe he was periscoping. That's some serious business right there.
I wish I could have just seen what made him say that? Like, what did this fan say? Like, hey, you have terrible
But
style.
you hear about people at concerts all the time. Like Avicii, some girl tried to jump up on his stage and take a selfie the other day, and Avicii was like, no, and threw her phone into the crowd. So,
Right.
I mean, it's not like artists and athletes, love having cameras up in their faces all the time.
No.
Not that it warrants that response necessarily, but
Or while you're
maybe they
playing
get annoyed,
in a game,
like,
he
hello,
literally
I'm trying
was
to-
checking in, or it was like he was by the scoreboard. So I mean, not scoreboard, but the clock. So
now, if you're loud, obnoxious on your phone, like, "Hey, mom, I'm at the game."
yeah,
that's one
So
thing.
that's
but
what I'm
like-
saying. Like if we would have caught the beginning of that video, or maybe the
fan posted the video?
Yeah, the fan recorded it.
That's not.
So of course,
Oh.
watch out, all you basketball players.
I just try to take a selfie, like, "Hey, what's up?" Very quietly
just take a picture
with my
me.
selfie stick. Super.
In some
incognito.
sad news, my favorite hockey team now, because I've only been to one game, the Blackhawks. They got
And you yell at me for being an LA Rams fan.
I mean, but it wasn't
Blackhawks
but you
fan.
were a Seahawks fan before. You were a Buffalo Bills fan during Senior Bowl
For like a minute
I mean,
or 4.
But I've never had a hockey team.
Oh, okay.
So the Blackhawks are my hockey team, and they basically got kicked out the first round of the NHL playoffs.
So now what are you going to do?
Not watch hockey.
Watch hockey for the purpose of this show.
It's funny because there was a guy, I forgot his name, he was tweeting, and he was like, how come I've never watched hockey before? This thing is great. These guys.
That's what I thought about rugby.
Yeah.
How have I never watched rugby before?
Rugby guys are still hot.
Ooh, yeah. Buns of rugby. Where's that? Ooh, Lord. This is one of those shows
That should be,
where we are on
it should be
fire.
legs of rugby, because those guys' legs are ridiculous.
That's
But,
true. That's
yeah.
true. Well, I wanted to. You kept talking about the Warriors.
Yeah.
I have to get back to basketball before you
Okay.
move on because
okay.
I have an opinion here.
What?
My headline today.
Where's the alarm? Can I get an alarm?
I have Jamie has an opinion. What? Comes with my Crown and Diet tonight. Iceless. Thanks, by the way, producer. Iceless Crown and Diet's terrible.
Iceless?
Yeah, no ice.
Because there's no ice. Yeah.
Anyway, so Steve Kerr, the coach of the Warriors, obviously.
Previous bowl. Okay.
You're going to defend this, aren't you? Whatever I say.
Yeah, I am.
So it's like coach of the year. And I'm like, he sat out the first 43 games from complications from his back surgery,
Right.
off-season back surgery. And Luke...
No sympathy, Jamie, for the back surgery.
That's like showing up at a... Okay, shut up. Best wishes, whatever.
Uh-huh.
How do I get like... I don't know. I'm over it.
So
I'm already over it.
you think Luke Walton, who was a substitute, should have gotten...
Something. Like,
No.
okay, you come into your job halfway through and you're like, here's employee of the year and thanks for showing
Luke
up in
Walton
June.
did a wonderful job.
He did.
He
but
did.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how do you get coach of
No
the year when
credit
you
to
didn't
his
work?
father by any means. 'Cause
Don't be a Luke hater.
Bill Walton, I can't stand you or your voice during commentating any
yeah.
games. Yeah,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
that voice there. Everybody's like,
You
what?
can't- Listen, but his son coached the first 43 games.
You just think he's
24
hot.
and
Let's be
I do
honest.
think he's hot. I think he needs a little credit or a hug, something. Not that I don't think the Warriors are having an excellent, year.
It wasn't like
at all,
he
but-
took them and then like Steve Kerr had them drop and drop. No, they continued to go and they went and beat.
I was just wondering if he
and
was
beat the
coaching
season
from
record, though.
from bedside or something. You know what I mean? Like, did he put in some part-time hours? I don't know.
Maybe.
Paid time off. I
He
don't
was
know how that
Skyping
works.
and FaceTiming in the huddles or something. I don't know.
Oh my God. That was my opinion on that. Because I'm like, not that I can think of any other coaches who deserve it. Because I cannot. If I could, I would recommend one.
Right.
I'm just like, really? Because he
He did
wasn't even
good.
there. But
I mean, look
And
at where the team is.
I feel like every time a team is elevated or doing well, either we want to be lovers or we want to be haters. I tend to be a hater. I'm just like, really, Warriors? Why do you got to win this twice?
Haterade in your...
This is Haterade in my glass right here. Haterade and Crown.
I guess. It's
my
one
signature
of those days
drink.
for you today. And you got like the
Feeling
leopard
feisty.
on. You're very
Arr,
feisty.
I'm
You're a
very brown
redhead
today.
anyway.
Why did you have to do that?
Woo! Let's take a woosah moment for a second.
What else we got going on? We talked about the Warriors way too much.
Well, we've also got National Football League. The NFL. Which part of my happy week so far has been that they have reinstated Tom Brady's 4-game suspension. So,
Fuck you, Tom Brady.
Shout out to the Patriots and the
Oh my
NFL
God.
for basically.
That made me so happy.
That made me. I can't remember if it's like the 4 teams, but it was like Buffalo, your guys.
Yeah, my guys.
Miami, and there was 2 others. They basically got an early Christmas present because they don't have to play against Tom Brady at the beginning of the season. So,
And Giselle gets like, I get to see him on the couch.
right.
Yay.
Hopefully.
Or whatever.
I don't know. So,
We all know, neither of us, we can agree on that at least.
Yes.
We don't agree on much, but we can agree on that.
yes, pretty Tom boo. Not a fan. Not a fan.
Maybe he could get a facial without his time off.
He can curl his hair or something.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So
But what's the process for that? Because I know that it was like back and forth and like,
and
we're
they
done
were
having this
actually-
conversation.
And
Now
up
we're back.
until today, they were still thinking, oh, maybe the NFL reconsider it. No, NFL's like, we're done. This is a stale and mute point. 4 games, bam. So
Which I believe they fined him for last year, and then they overturned it, right? And then he was able to play, and then it's a conversation that keeps going on and on. So it's like, okay, will it be done after you've served your consequences, et cetera, whatever? Mm-hmm. Or is it going to come back up again, and they're going to appeal it before the season starts?
we don't know.
To be continued.
Yes.
Clearly, we'll be talking about this.
Clearly.
Because I feel like this is not the end of that conversation before the beginning of the season.
Other than I think the sports books have taken a hit because there was a
But
lot.
all my money on the Buffalo Bills this year.
Yeah.
Woo!
No, so as of local football, there's a huge story going on right now. That the owner for the Raiders, Mark Davis, he has pledged his allegiance. Well, not allegiance, but he has pledged to the Raiders and the organization and its fans that he will move them to Las Vegas should the funds and this whole like stadium fund pass to come to Las Vegas. So potentially you could have a home team here.
Yeah, but the Raiders suck. Listen, here's
No,
my opinion
let's
on the
be
Raiders.
clear, your Rams suck. The Raiders actually have gotten better.
The LA Rams haven't played yet, so don't wish that. Don't put that out into the universe just yet. Give them a chance. And secondly, the Raiders. Here's my opinions of Raiders fans. Everybody who has a Raiders sticker on their car has a shitty car every single time. And I'm like, seriously, dude, collectively, can you get a job? Do Raiders fans not work? I don't understand. Your team sucks. You have shitty cars every single time. I'm going to start a collage that's going to be called Raiders cars.
So I hate the Lakers
Every time.
and you hate the Raiders. And you probably should watch out because
they're closer.
Because that is not the stadium that you want to get messed around in. Those not only.
Maybe you have to have a crappy car to drive to the stadium because that way it doesn't get broken into.
I don't know.
Too soon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe.
Moving on.
So
Sorry, guys.
the Raiders could
Sorry
move
about that.
here, and the stadium actually is supposed to be right by the airport, that big open field that's right, I think it's north of the airport.
So they're going to build another stadium on top of the stadium they just built
Basically
for hockey.
like less than a mile away. Mm-hmm.
They're going to build another stadium.
Can you imagine there being a game and like a fight night, like MGM?
Because we are fight central over here.
called Stadium
Speaking of
Strip.
fights, John Jones is back. Snooze fest. He's not back with gusto though. He's back with like deet, deet, deet. That's my impression of John Jones. Like 5
Maybe
rounds of boring.
because it's no alcohol in his system.
Maybe it's another reason to get revved up. I've always been a John Jones fan, though. I mean, I was a huge UFC fan for many, many years, and so I was rooting for him a lot. But some indiscretions there, some questionable things, and good to see he's back. But he just doesn't seem to have the what's the word I'm looking for? The confidence that he used to have. I mean, he was kind of a badass for a while. He was like, I ain't taking no shit.
Well, no,
Wow,
he's
I'm
not.
cussy today.
Now, speaking of a badass, Conor McGregor, also with the UFC. So he basically didn't come to some promotional events for the UFC 200 and got taken off the card. Well, apparently he
couldn't just show up like Marshawn Lynch and be like, I'm just here, so I'll be on the fight
he's
card.
like, overseas training, didn't want to come, which he has to per Dana White. And apparently he tweeted like, oh, it's back on thanks to Dana White and UFC, blah, blah. And Dana White was like, no, we never
Dana White is like the Roger Goodell of NFL.
So basically, one of
You have to be on his good graces, otherwise you're out.
one of Connor's friends played the biggest April Fool's prank with him. Hey, this is Dana. Fights back on. No, that's what people are thinking. But because why would he say that? Why would he tweet that it's back on when it's not?
But if you're a professional athlete, I mean, you have certain obligations, obviously.
you would think.
Well,
no.
I hope. To just not fulfill those obligations and then wonder why you're not getting scheduled, especially if you're a fighter and those types of things. I mean, that's your sponsors, all of that. Really, they put a lot of time and money and energy into these huge fights.
Right.
Just to, I don't know. I mean, I just wonder how much money he's lost or how many sponsors are kind of taking a look at him. I don't know. I'm still a huge Ryan Bader fan, and that guy can't seem to win anymore. Also a snooze fest.
Whoop, boop, boop.
Oh my God.
Like I mentioned before, the Mariners, who have always been terrible. Well, lately, since like the last 10 years, they are 11-9. We have never started off this good, probably since Ken Griffey was there.
11-9.
11-9. We're leading the AL West.
Okay.
And not only that, but today there was an announcement that the actual general manager, I forgot his name, Liver, I don't know, he retired. So he's basically stepping down. So basically, we get all new management, which is great because the management we've had was pretty crappy. They're like the management that had the Seattle Sonics because they basically just sold them. I don't know.
I've been to a bunch of several Mariner games.
The Mariners
super fun.
It's going to be way better because basically the new management means they're going to be really trying to secure a championship and make the what's needed to happen to get a caliber team that can do that.
Poor Seattle. It's like I feel like when things are going great for Seattle, it's like things are going really great, and then things
are still going really great.
Do you always say that like every year? Things are good. It's our year.
Yes, I do.
It's your year.
Have you seen my license plate?
Yeah. Have I met you? This is what her bedroom looks like, by the way. I think. Jesus Christ. I don't know.
Wait, you've been in my bedroom? Hold up. I need a better security system.
Clearly. I watch you sleep.
All right. Speaking of baseball.
Speaking of baseball.
Wait.
Ooh.
Huh?
No. We'll talk about that later.
Okay. So a little buns of baseball.
That's
I'd like to just full disclosure, there was somebody on here that we didn't get the picture up in time, so I'm gonna hold off on one.
I'm blaming the interns,
and he'll be coming back next week.
I'm blaming the interns. Those
dang interns.
Getting our stats wrong, giving us wrong information, and not putting pictures on it.
Boo. So
we got?
First we got actually a local Las Vegan. Vegan,
sure.
Whatever. Sure, he probably eats meat. Bryce Harper.
He's there somewhere.
He is an all-star for the Washington Nationals. And there was a recent selfie he took at the museum, one of the museums in Washington State. They have a ton. Beard.
Beards of baseball?
I don't know if he has a beard
Beards
right
of basketball?
now. This could be an older picture.
I'm going to put together a collage.
And he's from Las Vegas. He's a good, yeah.
You flipped that bat.
We had the other one, which we'll use again later. And then for my throwback.
Your TBT?
Yeah.
Or TBB?
A little Bo Jackson
Throwback
for
buns?
you.
Woo!
This is when baseball uniforms were good.
For all of you watching, this is what baseball pants are supposed to look like. This is why.
Can we get like a stop the baggy pant movement or something? I would love that because you just can't see the assets that these players
Listen, I went to
have.
a very conservative Christian college. Sorry, Mom, for all the swearing and the crown and the drinking and whatever. Adultery.
Obviously, it worked really well.
But I went to a very conservative college, and we had a baseball team, whatever. And the one good thing about it, because they had a dress code and we had to wear skirts, and that's a whole other story for another time. But the one thing we could appreciate was the super tight pants. So there was like flocks of little conservative girls in skirts watching.
And also, Bo Jackson was a football player as well, which was in our arms of NFL. Do you see the arms as well?
Ooh, he's just fine.
He's like a double. He's like a package.
So fine. Well, guess what? I actually have a surprise buns of baseball for you.
What?
Yes, I have a surprise buns of baseball.
OMG.
Buns plural for you.
Oh.
Take a look. Speaking of the Mariners. Okay, first of all, the picture that I got.
This is clearly in baggy
Some of these are
pants.
not quite the buns, but I was like, look at all these buns.
Oh.
Kendry Morales is up on the screen up here. He's pitching. So, yeah, so those are my buns of baseball just for you because you're a huge Mariners fan.
Oh, my goodness.
I'll try to just send you all of my outtakes.
Wow.
These are my seats, by the way. I have a friend who works for Nintendo, so these were our seats for...
Who is no longer going to be an owner because they're selling their parts.
Crud.
Well,
anyway, that's where we used to sit. But yeah, buns. They would all line up in a whole row, and I was like, cheat, 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 cheat.
Oh, hilarious.
So...
Well, I have a couple ooh, and boo moments.
That's a lot of emotion.
I know. So first, for an moment, I don't know if I think I've posted it a couple of times. Marshawn Lynch is in Haiti with a fellow. He's retired officially, but now giving back. And him and Cliff Averill from the Seahawks spent time in Haiti. They were building homes, rebuilding orphanages and schools. I mean,
can they just adopt Johnny Manziel and as a Big Brother program?
He's not Haitian.
No, but I meant the Big Brother. Can they just take him along and be his sponsor?
I don't think anybody wants to
clean him up.
I think it's like an automatic, it's like that one friend that you just can't shake that you don't, is just pulling you down.
You look at their text message
weight.
and you're like, oh man.
It's like dead weight.
Yeah, but how do some guys turn out so good? Like Russell Wilson, Marshawn Lynch. Some guys turn out so good, and some guys just get in there and just blow it all away.
I don't know.
And just F it up.
Maybe because he needs to get with Tebow and find God.
Okay, my 80,000 comments. Tebow should be friends with Johnny Manziel.
Maybe he can do his good deed and take him under his wing.
There you go.
Yes, that would
Tebow
be nice.
Christ. So Marshawn Lynch is in Haiti.
Yeah. And
Aw.
yeah, it was amazing stories. I mean, they just seeing something. They were giving Nikes to all these kids. Nike had sponsored a huge truckload of shoes.
Okay,
I
wait,
mean,
back up.
Oh,
I would be more impressed if Marshawn Lynch had donated all those shoes, but this is a plug for Nike right now.
well, I don't know if necessarily, maybe he didn't pay, but there was Nikes that were given.
Oh. Sometimes I'm always like,
I'm sorry, he retired and went to Haiti to build homes.
Yeah, and Nike sponsored
Not
it.
like he went to, I don't know, the beaches of Mexico with his girlfriend Sierra. And I mean,
Gave her a promise ring. No.
as for a boo moment,
Oh, what's your boo moment?
so there's an outfielder, Tyler Collins for the Detroit Tigers.
Which was my team growing up, by the way.
Oh, you had a baseball team?
I did. We had a little. Shut up. My mom is a huge Tigers fan, right? And we didn't have television growing up. I'm giving away way too much in this
homeschool
today.
No television.
Skirts. Christian college.
College.
Let me have a drink to that. So yeah, we had a little radio that was shaped like a tiger with a little baseball outfit and a little cap. It was a little plastic radio. I think it may have only gotten AM stations, and we would listen to Tiger baseball on our little Tiger radio.
Oh,
That's what you do when you don't have TV and you grow up in Michigan.
No, not
The
okay.
end. It is okay.
Well,
Anyway,
yeah.
so Tiger baseball.
So basically, he was at his home field in Detroit. They had a game. There was a pop up. It was kind of in the lights because I'm sure it was an evening game in the dark. And he missed the pop up. He didn't catch it, and the crowd booed him. And so he flipped him off.
That's how you roll in Detroit.
I just yelled him off. Yeah,
That's how you roll. You have to be gangsta.
I guess.
So live and play in
He
Detroit.
was like, screw the home team.
Do you know what they have to drive through to get to that stadium?
I have.
Detroit.
And I've been
I'm
through
so
it.
sorry. I'm from Detroit, so I can say that. Yeah. Sorry, Grandma.
I thought that was Vegas because every morning I wake up, there's a new homicide.
Where
out
do you
here.
live in Vegas?
I thought from the news.
Oh my
Every
God.
morning you wake up, there seems to be some other new shooting.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, the Tigers, it's kind of like you have to look at cities like, I mean, how much revenue did Detroit actually take in from their pro teams? Like, who's a Lions fan? Text me personally if you're a Lions fan. I haven't yet to meet a Lions fan, ever.
I know a couple, but let me see your pen. Thank you.
Okay, you can have it.
So the last little moment I have is a moment. And so I don't know if you're aware of, there's a WNBA player who's like the best WNBA player, Brittany Griner, who just actually got picked up for the USA basketball team for the Olympics.
Very cool.
She plays for the Phoenix Mercury. She was married to a female, Glory Johnson. They went to a fertility clinic and decided to
Have future WNBA players.
Right, to conceive.
Make a family.
Glory had twin girls, and immediately, like 5 days later, Brittany had filed for an annulment because she thought that they weren't really hers, that maybe Glory stepped out of their marriage and was with a guy. So there was this huge custody battle.
Did they turn out a different color? Like, did they come out white or black?
Well, the funny thing is that Brittany actually had requested a blonde hair, blue eye sperm donor.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know how the kids were hers. She said that they were hers because basically the whole issue was obviously DNA wise, they're not hers. She's not the father.
Well, yeah.
But they had come to a consensus that they agreed that they would take care of these kids before they actually got inseminated. So now there was a whole custody issue. She finally acknowledged that this is like 10 years, not 10 years, but like a year later, she acknowledges that she now has to pay $2,500 a month in child support.
Because she actually did.
Yes.
She did a cha-ching, cha-ching.
Right.
Oh, interesting. That's an interesting concept. You're with a woman, but you still need your cha-ching, cha-ching.
Right.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's it. That's just a good, I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on that necessarily because, I mean, congrats to all of our, lovely athletes and their families. But I don't know. I just feel bad for the kids. So I'm feeling feisty about kids because it's my daughter's 8th birthday. Happy birthday to Josie. I had to throw it out there and I forgot at the beginning of the episode. So do we have any Rihanna tickets to give away? We've got about 30 seconds left, but we don't want to forget about all of you guys in Vegas. Totally unsports related, but we love Rihanna.
Thanks for everyone that tuned in.
Yeah. So I'm going to shake it up. We got a couple seconds left, so we want to make sure we get you guys all in here. Shake it up, shake it up, shake it up. This is a Lucky Mariners hat. Okay. We're going.
That was 2, I think.
2 went up.
This one.
Okay. I don't have any idea who's in the live chat, so no clue.
Lucky winner.
Right this minute.
Joy.
Joy! Is that your girl, Joy?
That's Joy.
Joy,
Thank you
we
for
want to see
tuning in.
pictures. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, we'll contact you later with the details.
Check us out on Instagram and Twitter, Facebook. Oh my gosh, you name it, we're on it.
Girl Chat Sports.
Love it. Jinx, you owe me a Coke? Take us out.
We may not have balls, but we know how to cover them.